Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising.
Welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, and we are helping entrepreneurs, business owners, founders, and executives create a wealthy mind. Today, I have with me Andrea Hall. Hello.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I am so excited for this interview with you.
Oh,
Mm,
me too.
yes, it'll be juicy.
It always is.
Ah! Yes.
Mm,
So, would you please tell our audience what it is that you do and with whom?
yes. So I am an SBA 7A lender for Midwest Regional Bank.
Hmm. All right. I like it. Now, that's one of the reasons why I like you so much is because I work with businesses and
Right?
you can help out with the funding, which is awesome.
That is the main reason, right? It's like
Uh,
helping entrepreneurs get the funding that they need through the program. And I have been doing this for about 5 years now. So
mm,
I love it. I've been through other sectors of the bank and banking, and this has just been a love for me on being able to work with the individuals side by side and getting to understand their story, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to grow and expand into or even sell. So it's always kind of a fun little story. Like you said, it's juicy.
hmm So, what do you love about the SBA loan space?
The fact that we as lenders can be super creative. I like the fact that we're not looking for a cookie cutter loan or a cookie cutter borrower. We're looking for people who have real problems, that need real funding, and they're, kind of not in a perfect situation, whether it's
Mm,
going to be, personal finances. Wow, I can't speak today. Personal
okay.
finances or business financing. And so sometimes it doesn't always bridge. Like you're not going to have an 800 credit score and perfect cash flow for your borrower and their business. Sometimes you'll have maybe it can happen, a 500 credit score, and very little to no cash flow of their business. And we're still
Mm,
able to look at that and try and help. It's not a, oh, we heard those are issues and you've also filed a BK or something, and we won't even touch it.
mm.
So that's why I like the fact that I still have that ability to help them versus telling them no.
That must be really fulfilling.
So much better. Because I used to be the commercial lender that had to say no. And I really wish I knew a me to where I could actually give that transaction or at least have that phone call and say,
Mhm.
hey, Dre, um, can you help this person? Our bank isn't able to. Is this something you would be able to look at? And 99% of the time, it is usually yes. I am more than happy to look at it, go through all the documentation, see if there's something that we can actually do, and we can. So whether it's a perfect deal or not, it's something that we're worth looking at and doing.
And I appreciate that you do that
Thank you.
100%. Like, I know so many people that are like, oh, I can't get an SBA loan because they're too strict or they're too blah, 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 right? So they have all these different guidelines.
Hmm.
And what I know about you is that you guys can be in a different space. So, like a more creative space. And I love that. I didn't know that option was around until I met you. I was like, oh, where has she been all my life?
I got the unicorn title. That's what that was. I was like, oh,
Yes.
you're a unicorn. I'm a unicorn. I love this. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's just depending on certain banks. And it's really coming down to credit box is what
Mm,
it looks like. And some banks use the same credit box that they're grading their straight conventional commercial loans on. And then
mhm,
if they can't do it on the conventional side, then they're thinking, okay, well, let's see if we can actually put it into the 7A program if the bank supports that. Some banks don't have
mm,
SBA. And again, if there is just something that is too far outside of that credit box to where it's not wide enough,
mhm,
then they won't fund. They won't be able to help them. And it's unfortunate
mhm,
because it's a lot of time wasted and you feel bad for people who just don't they need the money a little bit sooner. Not that
mhm,
our turnaround time is quick, I'm not going to say that it is, but having to go through two different processes is still going to know.
mhm.
That's what I don't
Right,
like.
right. Understood. Now, what are some scenarios where people would actually come to you?
Oh, perfect. We work with people who are looking for partnership buyouts, business acquisition, commercial real estate, whether that is going to be ground up construction or if it's going to be tenant improvement for a rented space.
Mhm,
We do work with a lot of startups. I do love that. I love hearing
mm,
all of that. I don't even know what you want to say. It's just all the planning that they've had, all of the dreams, all of the ambition that they're having to try and get their business off the ground. It's not just someone who's sitting on I-70 in the middle of ski traffic thinking, hey, I could be doing something better right now. It's more like, hey, I've been putting this plan together for the past 5, 6, even like 10 years, and they're ready to move forward to make it something that is no longer just a piece of paper or a thought.
mm.
Um,
Do
so
they
what
need
else do we do?
some traction in the business? These startups, do they need any kind of sales?
No, actually, that's a great question. We do a cash flow analysis that's going to be on a global, right? So we're looking at their personal income,
Mhm,
and we're also looking at projections and where they think that they're going to be able to get the business in the next 3 years. And we're looking for, conservative. Um,
yeah, realistic projections, please.
Yes. Yes. Not that I don't want everybody to be a millionaire overnight. I do, because that would be awesome. But they need to be, okay, this is where we are in the scale, and we need to gradually grow it month by month, year over year.
Mhm,
And that is something that, we try to always have those conversations with them too as they're filling and completing the projections out and reviewing it. So it's not, you're going to be a rock star, but let's just be a conservative rock star first, and then
mm.
you guys can just keep on going. So that is the interesting part of the startup piece is we're basically just using what they've personally gained, the assets they're going to be purchasing, and what their cash flow is projected to be.
All right. That's good news because with startups, you never know. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they might have to have some sales, some proof before people will take them on with the lending process. So I'm sure they absolutely love you and love your process and just giving them hope of their dream being realized realistically, because I've been guilty of this in the past where we idealize or put our head in the cloud and think, oh, if we do blah, 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 then it's going to happen this way and this way and this way. So, who do you have that you refer the people out to, or do you help them through this process yourself when they're not realistic with their financial projections? Do you have somebody that helps them really analyze that and bring it down to reality?
I mean, it is literally people and businesses like you. I love that because you're always with the entrepreneurs. You're always talking to them. You're
Mm,
always growing their business. And
mhm,
so it's the same mindset of working with those entrepreneurs. And it's like, hey, um, let's talk to your partners that you work with on a daily. There are people out there, which I value. And my earbuds just died. Fun. He's going to be editing a lot of this. All right. I'm
this
so
is
sorry.
Trifan is gonna love this. He's gonna be like, oh my God, no.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes. That is a major change in the audio though.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
It
Oh, bummer.
is. So let's think about this.
I don't know.
I can't have two different audio sounds. That's not gonna
Okay.
work. So
Can you hear me in this? Is it still good with one earbud?
yeah, does it have enough battery?
I don't know. That is the question. I thought I had plenty of battery earlier today, but apparently. Give me a sec. Man, we may have to redo this. Oh, it's getting low. Yeah, I'm.
All right, Trifon, we're back on. So, Dre, we've talked a little bit about startups. I would love for you to tell me, why is a loan beneficial for a company? How is it beneficial for them in the long run? You're muted. Okay, let's start again. All right, sorry, Trifon. Yes, the bleach does go to our heads sometimes. Okay. All right, so we'll get a cut edit here. So we've talked about startups. Now, can you please tell me, why are loans beneficial to a company long term, right? Because a lot of people can just think about, wow, this is going to cost me so much. This is going to blah, 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 right? But what's the financial bonus or benefit of doing this process?
That's the best question. So
Ooh.
I know, I love it. Because there is such a benefit to it. And it is expensive, right? I mean, it's loan, payment, principal, interest, you're putting money down. And we'll get to that too. But the biggest piece is that it's putting a financial vehicle in place for them, meaning that they have something to use to help stabilize their company, grow their company, expand their company into other markets, buy that commercial real estate that they can now have an asset. It's something that they're going to gain in the long run. So if somebody needs a loan because they're low on inventory, well, that inventory is going to be purchased with those loan proceeds, and then that inventory is going to be sold or used to help get more out of it for them. So stuff like that happens, or equipment. So let's say your equipment breaks down, it's old, and you have to get a loan to get new equipment. Well, that's going to help survive. Your business is going to survive on that because you're going back into production or into whatever you're needing it for, versus not having the equipment that you need, and basically you're at a standstill and you would stop. So it's helping you produce in the long run.
Awesome. So this all comes down to what your bottom line, or what you want your bottom line to look like, and where your business is at. So it sounds to me like your approach is pretty tailored to each business.
Mm-hmm. No business is the same. I mean, you can have multiple construction companies, but they're not going to be the exact same company, even though they're in the same type of industry, but they're operating completely different. I mean, and as you know that too, the
I
bottom
do.
line isn't the same, no matter what business you're working with, because they're all going to be different.
Yeah.
So we tailor it to that business of how can we help you? Where is your big success going to be once you get these loan proceeds in place?
I love that. I tailor my work to each business as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're speaking the same language, because every
Yes.
owner is different. Like, there was a company that I worked with, and it was a franchise, and they operated so differently from another franchise with the same name. Like, it doesn't matter if you try to cookie cutter
Mm-mm.
it, it's never a cookie cutter, because it's all dependent on
Mm-mm.
the owner.
Absolutely, because that's the person who's taking over and running the business day to day with their management and their teams. And Yeah, I mean, you can have one or everybody a part of one franchise, but one franchise may be doing a better job than somebody down the street, which is always
Mm-hmm.
interesting, right? Because they all have the same guidelines, but
Mm-hmm.
really they're operating differently.
Right. Yep. Understood. I dealt with that scenario with the franchise I'm thinking of. Like, why is
There you
this
have it.
one so much more successful than the other one? Well, because they had a greater working capital up front,
Hmm.
and that can be a bonus of getting an SBA loan, is making sure that you have that leg up financially because it's much harder to bootstrap a company than it is
Oh, absolutely.
to start with greater abundance. And then you have more money to spend on equipment and hire people and all the things. So that was their leg up.
And I always ask people too, it's just like, look, okay, we can build a lot of needs into your loan. It's not just for equipment. It's not just for commercial real
Mm.
estate or construction. Like you can blend stuff together of, okay, well, I need some working capital and I also need some inventory and I also need small equipment and I also need to hire people. So it goes back to working capital. And it's just, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about what bucket that you're going to need. So you're going to be and feel fulfilled when you go forward with this because you don't want someone to underestimate or overestimate like what they're needing because
Mm.
if they're getting too much of something then it doesn't really work for them because it's going to cost them more in the end because the loan amount
Right.
is going to be greater. And then if you reverse it and go backwards and you have less stuff that you actually need, then you're sacrificing a lot and not being able to, operate your company as well as you would like.
Sure. That makes complete sense. So, what would be some of the fears, some of the common fears that you see with people that may want to get a loan but are kind of dragging their feet?
Ooh, that's a good one too. Rates. Right now, we have just been so high on the rates. And that's just been, a couple of years. So, I mean, we're sitting at 10.25 right now currently. And that's pretty high on the business side. But these rates are there for a reason. And the loans that we do are for a reason as well. Again, going
Mm,
back to the first conversation of conventional lending. And if somebody can fit into that conventional credit box, and if somebody comes like across my desk and I know that they have perfect credit, they have perfect everything, I will have a conversation and say, hey, this, we may not be the fit for you right now. And I'm going to tell
mm,
you why.
okay.
Because you don't want to put somebody in a loan that isn't going to be a benefit for them.
That makes complete
So,
sense.
yeah,
Yes.
if it's too good to be true, then it is and it needs to go somewhere else. But if it's something we can do, then by all means, that is something I want to be able to help that individual with. And our rates aren't fixed. I love that piece too. So when the rates do start adjusting, and hopefully they'll start coming down again, even though we've been seeing a lot of that at the end of last year and last
Mm,
quarter, that hopefully they can be, easier to obtain and help people with their payments and everything needed. Um, but
so the
yeah,
rates do fluctuate.
yes, we are an adjustable rate.
Now, that's good news for people that might need a loan now and they start at the higher rate, but then it
Mhm.
comes down.
Yes, yes, yeah.
That
It'll
is
start
very good
falling down.
news.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we're at the highest we have been in a very long time.
Hmm.
So even if we stabilize and somebody can get a loan, at least they know that it's still affordable. And we're still looking at everything whenever we do
Hmm.
that too. So
Okay.
we're looking at outside income, we're looking at outside cash flow, making sure they have enough post-close liquidity to where they're not feeling too strapped, like you're talking about, and having that
Mhm.
fear because we want to make sure it's going to be affordable.
Right. So you don't want to get into a loan that you can't pay.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are
And we
there
don't want to put
any?
somebody in that.
Yes. And I'm grateful that you don't. That just
Mhm.
shows your integrity. It's really important to me. Are there any other fears that people face that I may not be thinking about?
The fact that they're going to have a loan and they're going to run a company, it's an interesting fear. People are excited about it, and people get kind of, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And they don't
Can
know
I
what to do.
actually do this? And that's where they need me.
Exactly. I was about to say, and then I pass it over to you.
You're like, Misty,
Meet
go deal with
Misty.
their fears.
Exactly. Calm them down. Let them know
Yes.
it's going to be okay. Because it
Yeah.
is in the long run. I mean, I have a client right now who's been trying to open up a practice for a while, in health. And, they're ready to do it. They've been talking about doing it. Now they're at the, okay, we're in the middle of getting a decision between credit and SBA. And
Mm,
every day they're just like excited but scared at the same time, because it's something
yes.
that they've been wanting for so long, but they're like, are we actually ready to do this?
Okay.
And they are. And that's why it's nice to have those conversations with our clients every day of,
Mhm.
yes, like this is why you're going to be okay. And again, people in our back pocket like you of,
Yes.
okay, this is the person you need to talk to after that you can understand this is where you're going to be going after all this.
Mhm.
So
Yep. And you need an advisor that's outside of it, that's not emotionally attached to the company, so that they can help you see
absolutely.
through the trees and the weeds and all the mess that comes up in your stress.
Oh yeah.
Because when we're stressed and fearful, we do not make good decisions.
Mhm.
So I
I am
advise
one of those people.
we all are. Uh, I advise that everyone has a success coach or a business coach that helps them as their advisor, their trusted advisor, to keep them on track, not just grow the business, but to keep the individual on track, and it keeps the stress levels down. So it's a very beautiful symbiotic relationship. I think everybody should have one. And, a lot of people are coming around these days, so we're good.
Mhm. Right?
Yes. Definitely. I have my mentors and advisors and everything. So, I mean, there's no way that you can build a successful empire without having an army around you.
Absolutely. And I tell my borrowers that all the time. It's like, have your attorney, know an attorney, know
Hmm.
someone that can help you with that, know
Right.
people that can do insurance, people that can help build your business, people that
Hmm.
can do all of these things. So you do, to your point, have this nice, army, if you will, around you to be able to help,
Hmm.
move you to, the next location.
Yes, definitely. So let's go ahead and get wrapping up. Is there anything that you would like to share? I'm sure we'll have you back. So
Oh, thank you.
this is just a beginning conversation with our audience. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience that I haven't asked?
Anything. Always call your lender. That's my biggest one. Because we can't always hear or see what you're thinking without you sharing that with us. Communication is key. So I am big on the communication piece. That would be my share and my takeaway for most
You're
people. So
you're gonna love this. In my personal life, I sent a message to someone and I said, let me make sure I phrase this correctly.
oh, it's gonna be good.
This is gonna be really good. You're gonna love it. Oh my God. I told them, reading your mind is not on my to-do list today.
Oh, I love that. I want that framed. I want that somewhere. I'm gonna put that under my signature line. Because
Yes.
it's hard. I know it is. It is so hard. Especially as close as you get to people, sometimes you feel like you can. But yeah, always pick up that phone. Always write that email. Make a text message. I beg you, whatever it's going to take. That's my ask.
Yeah, you guys do not expect Andrea, Dre is for short, Dre is for short. Do not expect Andrea to read your mind, please. It's not on her to-do list today.
Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Tomorrow might be a different day.
Yes, that's
Oh,
awesome.
man.
So if people want to reach out to you, what is one way? We're going to list a few of them in the description, but what's one way they can reach out to you?
Oh, go on our website at midwestregionalbank.com.
Mhm.
Go to lenders and then go to Colorado, and I am right there under the Colorado lenders.
Very nice.
And my email address is there, my cell phone number. I can't run away, so you can find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And it has
Yeah.
been so fun having you on as a guest, and I look forward to having you back.
You too. I love it. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to doing it again.
Awesome. All right. Until next time, you guys, we'll see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.